Hi, fifth grade. Today's question is, what is art? Can something illegal be art? For this project, what we did was we went to dafont.com. We found a graffiti font that we liked. You should have saved it on your computer, or hopefully you remember the name of it. We took that image and then we put it on paper. How's it going, fifth grade? So remember, what we did was we took a pencil, we sketched out our name, we put little lines for each letter, that way you didn't bulk up at the end. And then we went over with Sharpie. So if you didn't get to Sharpie, that's okay, you can get to it today. Double check today. If you do get to Sharpie, that you erase any extra lines. This is going to be our piece for the Original Works campaign. And so I want it to be good so that you guys can get some really cool keychains, shirts. A lot of people are getting magnets and then putting them in their locker. So that will be awesome to see all of your amazing art printed on things. Original Works has asked that we do this in either crayon, marker, color pencils, or any dry media. So unfortunately we can't use oil pastels or paint for this project. So I'm gonna give you some ideas that could help you make it a little bit more interesting. Not a lot of people want to use crayons, and neither do I, to be honest. I feel like they're kind of babyish, but I wanted to show you a couple things that you can do with them just to make your art really pop. So you can take any color crayon and then find one of these writing plates. We'll have this on the back counter, and you can go over and add texture. Now you're probably thinking, Mr. Bofield, why are you coloring the brick brown? Well, the reason is that the wax from that crayon is going to stick. It's not going to come off. And then I can take like a red, if I want red bricks, and go over it. And that crayon, that texture will still be there. And so that makes your bricks look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more interesting. Some of you are not doing bricks. That is okay. This is totally up to you. It just has to have your name. And then we're using graffiti fonts to make it more interesting. So I'll be right back. I want you to also consider line quality for this. Right now, I have an interesting background that I'm obviously gonna color. My letters are okay, but right now it's kind of stagnant. It's just kind of sitting there. It's not really like popping off the page. So one thing you can do is you can add dimension, make it look a little bit more 3D, like it's coming at you, by changing the line quality. The line quality just means making the line bigger or smaller. So I'm making the lines bigger on one side, and what this is doing is it's kind of popping it off the wall. So it's making it even more bubbly and interesting. So isn't that a little bit more poppin'? I could even go and do the same thing on the bottom. And there we go. And so now it looks like it's coming off the page. So that's an option for you. Of course, if you like it, you don't have to do that, but that's just what I did. And I know you guys are in fifth grade and you know how to color, but I just want to give you one last tip if you've never heard it before. Sometimes people color like wildly like this, but just know that that's going to take you longer because you're going to have to go back and fill in all those little spots you missed. You might as well just color in one direction. That way you're getting all those spots and you don't have to go back and waste your time getting all those spots because you colored crazy. Now I'm going to work on the letters. I want you guys to consider a gradient. So a gradient means that a color transitions from one color to another. So it could be yellow turning into green, and so you'd have that middle point where it's changing. That is a lot of what graffiti artists do. They use gradients. If you ever need a sharpener, remember the sharpener is in your bin, in the little cup. Just take it out and sharpen. This is what I'm going to try to get my gradient to turn into: yellow to green to blue. As you guys know, you can make a color darker by just pressing a little bit harder. And so that is one way you can get a gradient, especially if you just want to keep it monochromatic, one color. Take your time and make it your own. You may decide you want to add some drip drip like I did. So if you want it looking fresh, like someone just spray painted on a wall, then maybe you want to add some drips. And I just did crazy wobbly lined and then filled it with a color that made sense. It's your awesome artwork on the back counter if you feel like you're done. And then of course you can choose a new activity. Unfortunately, iPads are not ready yet. Have an amazing day.